Guys, what is going on? Welcome to my review for last night's episode of Monday Night Raw from my hometown of Pittsburgh, PA. Still reeling from Raw. Like I said, when you go to these shows, especially when it's a 3-hour show and that third hour certainly dropped in quality, I was pretty tired. But got my rest, I got my energy back, and just gonna, tell you how I felt about Raw last night. Of course, being live in attendance and what it was like from a live perspective. And for those of you that watched on television, which is assuming the most of you, let me know what it was like from the TV end of things. Because when you go to a live show, it certainly increases your quality, your excitement of the show. And for the first 2 hours, I enjoyed the show. I really did being there live. And the perfect title for this episode is really A Tale of Two Shows, because I thought the first 2 hours was some good stuff, some solid build for SummerSlam. And after that triple threat main event, honestly, this is what I felt like they did. They went, we throw our hands up in the air. We don't know what the hell to do for this third hour, so we're just going to throw random shit out there. And, there was stuff that they could have done, looking back on it, and they didn't do. So, and I'll let you guys know what happened before Raw, and that kind of bothered me as well. But, speaking of, let's talk about what happened before Raw. I usually don't, but since I was there, they had the main event tapings. They had a tag team match featuring Lince Dorado and Gran Metalik. It was actually nice to see Gran Metalik. I'm like, holy shit, that's somebody that's been missing for a while now. We got to get this guy's face on milk cartons or something. Why he isn't in the Cruiserweight division, just like why Kalisto isn't in the Cruiserweight division. Now, I'm not a fan of the way they book them, but if you want to do something different, put those two guys in there and let them tear it up. Just baffles my head. They fought the Brian Kendrick and, God, I can't say, was it Drew Gulak? I think it was, but I could be, like I said, it was a long show, but it was an alright tag match, Cruiserweight tag. But what bothered me was seeing Mickie James versus Emma have not too bad of a match on main event. And yet we had Bayley versus Nia Jax in an underwhelming match. Really haven't been impressed by the matches that they had. You could have easily have done Mickie James versus Emma. Give them time. You had 3 hours. That would have been an improvement. You could have done Emma versus Bayley. No disrespect to Nia, but Nia Bayley, I just don't think they have that good chemistry. And it came on the heels of a third hour that just was slow, plodding, and really unnecessary. If you ended after that triple threat main event, this would have been a solid edition of Raw. But unfortunately, the show kept going. And we'll talk about that. But let's start from the beginning and work our way to the end. So we kicked off Monday Night Raw in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania with the Olympic gold medalist. Oh, it's true. It's damn true. Kurt Angle. It was so great to see Kurt Angle. If you haven't checked out my Day in the Life video, it will be uploaded very shortly. If not, as this video is happening, immediately following. So check out my Day in the Life video from Monday Night Raw. Great reaction for Kurt Angle. The "You Suck" chants. And Kurt, said, oh, it's true. It's damn true. It's great to be back in his hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We showered him with love and affection. And Kurt brought up the fact, that tonight it's going to be the Big Show versus Big Cass. His son will be on Miz TV. And he updated us about the triple threat match between Reigns, Strowman, and Joe. And he talked about winning the Olympic gold medal 21 years ago yesterday on the day when he won an Olympic gold medal with a broken freaking neck. Still incredible. Just amazing stuff. Wow. And then Brock Lesnar's music hit. And I'm like, oh shit. I get to see Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle in the same ring at the same time. Who would have thunk it? So that was a surreal moment. Paul Heyman comes down and he lays out an interesting scenario. He says, you really want Lesnar to lose the Universal Championship. Why else would you put Lesnar in a fatal four-way match at SummerSlam? He says, putting him against these three dominant behemoth superstars. And he says Heyman pretty much knows that it's a fact that everyone's going to gang up on Lesnar at SummerSlam. That's what's going to happen. And Heyman made this interesting tidbit that really increased my excitement for that Fatal 4-Way match at SummerSlam. It's going to be off the pages. If anything was the indication from last night based on that triple threat match, throwing Brock Lesnar, things are going to get a whole lot better. Potential for match of the year? I'll go that far and say it, because I really liked what happened last night. Heyman says, we should rename SummerSlam Lesnar loses the Universal title. That's what we should rename it. And Heyman says, if Lesnar loses the title at SummerSlam, him and Heyman, they will be leaving WWE. And Heyman eventually said, but that will not happen. Lesnar will walk out as the reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Champion. So a huge bombshell dropped here, perhaps allowing Brock Lesnar to go fight in the UFC again. Rumors have been abound ever since John Jones called him out after the UFC pay-per-view this past Saturday. So perhaps allowing an out for Lesnar to drop the title coming out of SummerSlam fight and then finish out his contract with WWE. We'll have to see. But I like this opening promo. Angle, Heyman, Lesnar. Good stuff. Good stuff right here. We then have the Hardy Boys versus Anderson and Gallows. Not too bad a match here. Solid. I'd have to say a solid, decent tag match. It was great seeing the Hardy Boys live. I don't think I've ever seen them, believe it or not. So this would have been my first time seeing Matt and Jeff. I've seen Matt before in the Independents, but I don't think I've ever seen Jeff Hardy live. So they took on the club, Anderson and Gallows, and they were able to pick up the win after Matt hit the Twist of Fate on Luke Gallows, and Jeff followed it up with the Swanton Bomb for the win. I like what they did after the match, though. Hardys are walking up. Revival are talking trash. I don't know what they were saying, because it was there live, obviously, but Hardy's Revival go at it. Eventually, Anderson and Gallows start brawling, and Jeff hit a poetry in motion off the stage onto the Revival. So that was a really nice spot by a nice little pull-apart brawl. I don't know where they're going with all three of these teams. Perhaps a triple threat number one contenders match to determine who will be next to challenge Sheamus and Cesaro, because I think they're going to do... I'll get into what I think they're going to do later on in the show tonight. So we play up further tension between Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins. Are they on the same page? Aren't they on the same page? And I really like where this storyline is going. Ever since I started it, I feel like it's the exact direction that both guys needed to go in. Possibly teasing a reunion of the Shield. But Rollins is walking backstage. He runs into Sheamus and Cesaro and kind of goes back and forth with them a little bit, saying, they make fun of the fact that he can't trust Dean Ambrose and, you don't really have anybody that likes you. And it leads to Rollins accepting a challenge. He challenges Sheamus or Cesaro to a match tonight. And it leads to Sheamus accepting the challenge and facing Seth Rollins in singles action. This Cruiserweight six-man match. Rich Swann, Cedric Alexander, Akira Tozawa versus Daivari, Tony Nese, and TJP. You could hear crickets inside the arena. Didn't care one bit for this match, so the less said about this, the better. Tozawa hits the Flying Senton on TJP for the win. Not really too much to say other than I am happy those purple ropes are gone, but that's really all I got to say about this match. Nothing really out of the ordinary. We had Miz TV, and honestly, Miz carried this segment by a long shot. Jason Jordan, the scripted promos ain't helping him one bit. And they even, sense the animosity that is developing amongst the crowd. Miz brought up the fact, well, some of these people are already starting to boo you. And Miz pretty much wanted to take Jason Jordan under his wing and eventually belittle Jason Jordan, his father, Kurt Angle, and Miz tried to get a cheap shot in at Jason Jordan. Jordan ducked and nice belly-to-belly takedown suplex. Suplex the Miz onto Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. So it looks like our SummerSlam IC title match is set. The Miz versus Jason Jordan. Like I said, we'll see where the storyline goes. I'm worried, though, that the scripted promos, will do more long-term damage than any type of positivity that it'll do for Jason Jordan, because we've seen, WWE's track record when it comes to writing these promos for the babyfaces to say. They just come across as bland, boring, and unrelatable. However, I think Jason Jordan is a tremendous talent in the ring, and I'll wait and see where this story plays out, but I think the perfect first opponent for him is challenging The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam, and hopefully over time, Jordan gets better with his mic skills, because he obviously is still very green. But in the ring, he's got a lot of potential. So let's see where this goes. Didn't have a problem with the segment. Like I said, Miz really carried it. Miz is freaking awesome on the mic, but what can you expect? Ran down Pittsburgh, and that was great, just being able to boo the Miz. So it's just like, it's just fun stuff there. Seth Rollins versus Sheamus. Not too shabby of a match here. Like I said, it was all right. Sheamus Rollins, towards the end of the match, Cesaro tried to interfere. He knocked him off the ring apron. Sheamus attempted to go for white noise, but Seth Rollins was able to get the roll-up for the victory. And then after the match, a 2-on-1 assault happened from Sheamus and Cesaro. And the crowd, we were all hoping that Dean Ambrose would come out to help Seth Rollins. And I like the way that this went down due to the fact that Dean Ambrose, he didn't come out initially. And if he did come out initially, perhaps he would have been able to help Seth Rollins. But by the time he hesitated, decided, oh, what the hell should I do? Should I help this guy that I really don't like, that I really don't trust due to the fact that he stabbed me in the back? Ambrose eventually did come down after Sheamus and Cesaro, they beat Rollins up. Looked like they were going to leave, came back down, started beating Rollins up again. Ambrose tried to get in there, but Cesaro was able to hit him with the neutralizer. And Cesaro chokes out Dean Ambrose with his shirt, and Cesaro tosses Ambrose into Sheamus for a bro kick. So it looks like our rumored championship match between Sheamus and Cesaro versus Ambrose and Rollins. If that's going to be the match for SummerSlam, I'd actually like to see that match. It would be a fresh matchup between, these four guys. Never seen the match before, so it would obviously be fresh because we've seen Sheamus and Cesaro versus the Hardys versus Anderson and Gallows. Not so much the Revival, but that would be heel versus heel. So I don't think they would want to do that at SummerSlam. But, that looks to be the direction they're heading, and I have no problem with that at all. We have Bray Wyatt come down to the ring. He cuts a promo. He talks about Pittsburgh and how we are pitiful. And we usually are, I will give it. The crowds for these live events and for Raw and SmackDown in Pittsburgh, they are pretty pitiful. So, Bray, you're actually right about that. He talks some mumbo-jumbo, false hope, yada, yada, yada. And it was a typical Bray Wyatt promo. You've seen one, you've really seen a dozen at this point. But what I liked about this segment was the tease of the Demon returning. I think we all know where this is going. Bray Wyatt wants the Demon at SummerSlam. The Demon will return at SummerSlam. We haven't seen him since SummerSlam. It's hard to believe it's been that long. But when the Demon comes back, it'll certainly be a special moment. They teased him coming out. Balor appeared in the ring with his back turned to Bray Wyatt. Hit the Pele kick. Finn Balor hit a torpedo drop kick and sent Wyatt into the crowd. And Finn Balor poses with the crowd to end the segment. Didn't really care too much what Bray said, but that's just due to the fact of him rambling and not really explaining why he is after Finn Balor. I want to know why you were actually after this guy, rather than just go on and on and on about really all this nonsense at this point. But I do look forward to the match between Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt. Speaking of a match that I look forward to, when they said this triple threat main event was up next, and to me this was the main event of the show. It was not, technically it was Big Show versus Big Cass, but if WWE can say, well, WrestleMania has 4 main events, and this was the main event of this episode of Raw. This was pay-per-view worthy. I really liked this match. Strowman, Joe, Lesnar, all 3 guys beat the shit out of each other. It was just great. Action back and forth. Braun, I'd have to say, got the most overreaction. Reigns, of course, got a lot of boos, me from being there live. And Joe got a good reaction as well. So that's how I'd rank it based on the crowd reactions alone. But these 3 guys, they went to war. Whether it was Strowman wrecking shop, Reigns and Joe actually had to get on the same page in order to briefly get Braun Strowman down, so that was interesting to see. Eventually, Strowman and Reigns eventually brawled into the crowd, so that was actually nice to see for a change. You don't really see too much of that anymore. So as they're fighting into the crowd, towards the end of the match, it looked like Strowman was going to actually spear Reigns through the barricade, but Reigns was actually able to counter out of that. I believe he kicked Strowman. So nice tease of a spot right there. And towards the end of the match, Strowman actually slammed Reigns into the turnbuckle a couple times. Strowman picked up the steps. It looked like he was going to use the steel steps, but Reigns Superman punched Braun Strowman, and then Reigns hit Strowman in the head with the steps. Strowman gets out of the ring. Reigns spears Joe. Roman Reigns gets the win. I wasn't too down on Roman winning. Didn't have a problem with it, due to the fact that maybe that means it's less likely that he wins at SummerSlam, but just due to the fact that this was a really, really good match. And like I said, if this main evented, it would have sent us home happy. Wow, what a kick-ass match. Instead, what followed here was the show progressively getting worse and worse and worse. And that's why I call this review A Tale of Two Shows, because it certainly is a fitting title. We had Elias. I'm still calling him Elias Sampson. I don't give a shit. Elias Sampson, who's from Pittsburgh, sang a song about how he hates Pittsburgh. He trashed the Pirates, which I'm okay with because the Pirates are the suckos. They suck. But he didn't trash the Penguins. So, Elias, you get off scot-free. But if you would have trashed the 5-time Stanley Cup champions, you would have made the list. We had Elias Sampson versus Kalisto. Why? That's what I'm wondering, why this match happened. I didn't care. Elias won. He hit the drift away for the win. This really ain't going to take that long to recap this third hour. Bayley versus Nia Jax. Match was nothing special at all. Alexa Bliss tried to sneak down and cost Bayley the match. Bayley basically swatted away Bliss. And Bayley got the win after Jax got counted out, after Jax got sent into the steps. And, this... I didn't care. Crowd didn't care at all, so... And then the Big Show versus Big Cass. Why was this a main event again? I guess because they had good ratings. I don't know. I have no idea why this was the main event. The Triple Threat main event... I'm even saying it. The Triple Threat match should have been the main event. But we got Big Cass versus Big Show. And it ended in a disqualification after Enzo jumped on Big Cass's back to cause the DQ. Cass hits Enzo with the boot. Big Show hits the WMD on Cass. And eventually Show and Enzo celebrate to end Raw. A good first 2 hours, but that third hour, when it hit, it hit like a hurricane. I still had a good time going live, despite that third hour, and despite how tired I was afterwards. And if I had to give a live grade, I'm going to do 2 grades. My live grade for enjoyment, for the overall show, give it a B+. But for my grade for the actual show, I will give it a... It's tough because those first 2 hours I liked. And then that third hour. I'm going to go C. C grade for the show. So that's my review for last night's edition of Raw. Remember to leave your comments down below for what you guys thought of Raw. And I want to say thank you all for watching this video. Please click that like and subscribe button for more video content coming soon to this channel as my channel gradually gets to 300 subs. We are only 7 subs away, so continue to spread the word. Because without you guys, this channel wouldn't be possible. So thank you for helping to help this channel grow. Remember to check me out here at youtube.com/DanielGuyza412. Follow me on Twitter at DanielGuyza412 for all my live tweeting. And until next time, guys, thanks for watching this video. I will catch you guys later on. Thanks for watching.